Hello and welcome. My name is Mark Benton and I'm an English qualified lawyer and I work for Ahnse law offices in Seoul, and I assist our foreign clients who have legal issues in Korea. So today I want to say a few words about the choice of corporate form. So in previous videos talked about foreign direct investment, liaison offices, branch offices, subsidiaries, etc., etc. And if you choose the subsidiary route, then there are two main corporate vehicles, two main choices of corporate form, and I want to briefly discuss those in today's video. So let's make a start. Okay, so what are the two main choices of corporate form in Korea? Well, we have what's known as the 주식 회사, which is the analog of a joint stock company. So that would be the GmbH in Germany or the limited company in the UK. And then we have the 유한 회사. 유한 회사 is kind of a short form limited company. It doesn't have quite so many requirements as the 주식 회사, but there are also limitations to that as well, which we'll address shortly. Okay, so what are some of the key differences between these two corporate forms? Okay, so let's take a look at these. So with the 주식 회사, there's a minimum of one equity holder, no maximum, and it's basically the same with the 유한 회사, minimum of one equity holder and no maximum. Authorized capital. Okay, authorized capital, that's determined in the articles of incorporation of the company in the 주식 회사. And in the 유한 회사, that's somewhat different. Authorized capital is not contemplated in this corporate form. Again, paid in capital, there's no minimum, and that applies also equally to the 유한 회사. So the main difference here is that with the 유한 회사, no authorized capital is contemplated. So let's look at some other differences. This is really looking at directors. Okay, for the 주식 회사, the directorial term is 3 years. So every 3 years you have to renew and reappoint your board of directors. With the 유한 회사, that doesn't apply. There's no maximum term for the directors. And okay, in the 주식 회사, if your corporation is capitalized for less than 1 billion Korean won, then you only need one director, and if it's 1 billion won or over, then you need 3 directors. And also for companies with a paid-in capital of 1 billion, you need an auditor. Okay, and the difference with the 유한 회사 is that a board is not required and auditors are optional. Okay, let's look at some other key differences. Okay, so in the 주식 회사, obviously with the company full corporate form, debentures are permitted, and the 유한 회사, they're not permitted. So that's a significant difference. And transfer unit shares in the 주식 회사, that's free, but it's subject to the articles of incorporation and any shareholders agreements that you may have. That's basically the same in the 유한 회사. And for the 주식 회사, an IPO is permitted, but you cannot have an IPO for a 유한 회사. So if that's something you're contemplating in the future, then the 주식 회사 is basically the only feasible corporate vehicle for you to choose. Okay, and moving on, in the 주식 회사, so at the time of incorporation, the shareholders must pay for the shares in full at or before incorporation. And it's slightly different with the 유한 회사. It's similar to a UK limited company, so the shareholders may pay in the capital later, but in the event of a default, then the shareholders will be obliged to pay what they should pay to capitalise their unit in the company. Okay, so conclusions. Generally, we recommend the Juche Quasar unless there's a compelling reason otherwise. The Juche Quasar are perceived as having more gravitas, sort of respected a bit more. So, yeah, and I guess, yeah, it really depends on the client's objectives, but generally the Juche Quasar is perceived as having greater weight and is more respected. So that's what we generally recommend, but we'll have that conversation with the client and they can choose the best corporate form for them. Okay, if you want to contact me, here are my contact details, Mark T. Benton at Ahnse.com. Thank you very much for listening.